what we are
And introduce yourselves too.
calling the sound bit. And my name's Eric. I'm working on this with Max and with Lauren, and Robin also helped, especially on ideas and stuff. Thank you. The idea behind this project really was there are lots of cool LEDs, right? We love LEDs and we want to make them blink. And one way that you can make them blink is through sound, and then make it interactive by playing sound and having LEDs do things. And something that I had been thinking about for a while was how do we make it respond to pitch? And pitch is tricky because it's tough to take a sound out there and turn it in and tell what frequency it's at. And I'm thinking, well, tuners do this and stuff, but how do you actually code this kind of thing? And what do we do? How can we do this? So we said, well, we've got some pieces of this here to detect pitch. How can we turn this into some Arduino code and have this Arduino control some cool LEDs that we have from like Adafruit, right? And they have these rings and strips and stuff. So we really brainstormed like, well, what can we do? And textiles are just like a natural kind of idea that comes out of this, So you're making something that looks cool and responds to sound. So what we did then is, so we have an Arduino, that's our brain, and it's controlling a ring of LEDs. And this is the code in the Arduino. There is a microphone inside this ring that will pick up sound. The Arduino will try to detect a pitch from that sound. Obviously, if it's like random noise, there's not really a frequency going on. But if you give it a tone, like a whistle, you get a nice steady spin of the LEDs. So what we decided to do is, well, as the pitch would vary, the speed of the spinning LEDs would change. So I'm going to try and do this a little bit so you can see it, right? Yeah. All right, so. Lower pitches, it would spin slower, and as you get higher in pitch, it would spin faster. I tried my best there to hit a good range. We also added another element too. The color of the LEDs will change with the volume, right? So if I did one single pitch and I get closer to it, you'll see it kind of go through some colors and go to white, I think. But these things can put out any colors. You can really go wild on it. So you see the colors will respond to how close I'm getting. I could also try to whistle louder, but that was harder. So, the electronics here took a lot of work. We're doing the Arduino code to try and get this thing to detect pitch. There are a lot of, I think, things you have to work with on Arduino in terms of just how fast it's able to process a lot of data. And audio is really tough. And there's a bit of math magic that's used to get the frequency out of random sound, because you don't always have a nice pure sound wave. We use a technique called autocorrelation, and it does a pretty good job of telling you what the fundamental frequency is from a sound. There are so many things we really wanted to fine-tune or need to kind of go through to make this really better, more accurate, faster. But we're really pleased that it actually does what we wanted to do. So we were able to get something that did respond to pitch and turned into some cool LEDs. What else would I say about it? The circuit is pretty basic. It's the microphone going to a preamplifier type of deal. It just goes right into the Arduino. The Arduino has a bunch of code running through, detecting, outputting the state of the LEDs. There's actually a lot of coding part of that, and then Lauren did a great job trying to get this into like a wearable for wrist. This could be like a necklace. We put it anywhere, a tie, anything. Right? We just went with this. We thought it'd be easy to display and stuff. So, and you can look at it, whereas if it's here, I'd have to find a mirror or something.
Cool. So you're at 5 minutes. Good time for questions.
We'll get questions.
Well, I wonder who might be your consumer? Who might be the person that would wear this? And I think any of the team can jump in with who you imagine being the.
Well, first of all, I didn't really have, I think, a goal, and or any of us to have somebody want like this as being like ultimately like a consumer product, but it's a fashion product, you know. So
Yeah.
anyone that wants, anyone that wants something that's cool to wear around, I think you would show up at just like a party and just be like, hey guys, hey, whistle into this thing. And then be like, that's pretty fun. Or like a tie or something that people realize that when they're speaking to her, they can like sing at it and it will like respond to it. That's interactive, it's cool. Like, I think I would wear that. So.
It'd be a fun thing to take camping when there's not a lot of street lights and you have that just darkness and you can
It would be easy to find you.
Yeah.
Somebody whistles and that thing will start to go crazy. That was actually, scope, actually, I would actually change your question slightly to, this is what it looks like, what was the scope we started with, what were the goal we started with. And some of the goals we started with, we're trying to create something, as you pointed out, was something that would, we had discussions about making something that would respond to somebody else whistling at you. So instead of you whistling into your watch, you'd whistle, somebody would whistle at you, and I think you had the hard idea where you cross a room, you could whistle at somebody, point your whistle at somebody, and it would light up some badge on them, and then they could respond back with a check or, yes or a no.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We had different game ideas. We had like accessibility ideas where
right.
you can use tones to unlock something or to indicate or to make something else happen. The Arduino could detect the tones and then do anything really.
And
So
we got to the point, by the way, the biggest problem is scope, right? And
Yeah.
scope meaning, we got to the point where we could do that. We could actually sit there and, actually you saw it probably doing it when he was talking or somebody else was talking, and it would start to move, right? It was moving just by somebody else speaking in the room. We got to that point. The problem is, and I can narrow it down to this, is we would have had to do much more waveform analysis in order to get it to actually understand what was being said.
Yeah.
In order to say, I can point at it and say, he said something that I should respond this way to. And that's
Yeah.
pure waveform analysis, and I'm not sure we're doing that on our
You
team.
make a guitar tuner out of it pretty easily.
Actually, that came up, somebody brought that up last night.
So judges, did you have any other questions? Because we probably need to move this on.
You know, it could possibly have uses as a safety device.
Yeah?
To warn you when you're in a dangerous situation.
Well, we had the dog and cat.
Yep.
We had some
Yep.
ideas like
thing
that.
about where's my dog, where's my
I
cat?
would say
Yeah.
that was one of our initial
I know,
struggles.
we left the animals,
Was-
animal ideas.
That was
So
tied
let's.
to those different input.
Yeah.
I think one of our initial struggles was how functional and who was our consumer.
Yeah.
And it became like, let's just see if it can be done
Yeah.
and make something wearable and fun.
Yeah.
And it could have a lot of applications after that.
Great. Well, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you guys.
Who do we have next? Maybe Robin wants to go?
Sure.
Are you ready?
Yeah,